Really excited about our next guest, Christian Watson, the Packers wide receiver. We got a big-time playmaker in the middle of his prime. Was just in the mix, obviously, in the NFC. Welcome, Christian. What brought you to the Bay Area, hanging out in Super Bowl week?
Just get out, do a couple of things in the community with the NFLPA,
Okay.
and then just kind of show face to the media. And
that's us.
I love it. I love it. We can hear more about this Packers season. It really struck me when you came back from that injury. And tell me if you disagree. That it was maybe a slightly different Christian Watson. Maybe it was the way they were using you, but like more production, more like a higher success rate, but you're still hitting big plays down the field, like more yards per game. Like you were kind of filling a role, which you almost never see, of a guy coming right off the injury, and you're almost doing more than you did before. Like how did that come to happen?
Honestly, I think it really just came down to just the confidence that I was playing with. I think that I was just playing a lot, more confident and a lot more free than I had in the past, and I think that that kind of gave the Jay Love and the coaches more confidence in me too. So I think it just gave me more opportunities to make plays, and just helped me go out there and keep it going. I think that was a big emphasis for me in the offseason, was just maintaining that confidence and that that mindset throughout the offseason. So once I got back, I'd be able to just go out there and play fast and play free. It definitely worked out.
I'm curious about that because that's not easy to do when you are returning from something like that. Was it like self-talk? Was there stuff you read? Were there just like things that you reminded yourself every day to just be, I've been through like the worst, aka the worst, and like now I can just go be free like that?
Honestly, all of the above.
Yeah, cool.
Definitely a lot of self-talk. Definitely a lot of mental, just having conversations, having conversations in my head, and then just the things that I was doing. I couldn't run and catch balls, but I would position myself and just kind of spot catch. I was making sure that I was on a jug still, catching footballs, and then really just being around football as close as I could, as much as I could throughout that process, so that when I was transitioning from jogging or standing still to jogging and then to running and then running routes and stuff, it was a lot smoother of a transition. I didn't feel like, I haven't done this in months. It felt, like I was kind of just right back into things. That helped me a ton.
How is it playing in this Matt LaFleur offense? I can hear Jordan's voice in my head that like Matt LaFleur really likes his offense like he likes his offense. Very exacting. He wants things a certain way. How would you describe kind of playing in this offense?
I think it's been really good. I think that he's really good at putting a lot of different guys in positions to be successful. I feel like it's really anyone can eat at any time. I don't think he relies too much on one guy or one playmaker to make the plays. I think he relies on all the guys that are out there. It's been great playing for Matt and playing in his offense. I think that we've had a really young offense these past couple of years. So I think that we've grown as an offense as we've gotten more reps and gotten more confidence in each other. And I think it'll continue to build. I'm excited to see where this next year goes, with the rookies that we had last year, going to be stepping into bigger roles. And, I'm definitely excited to see where it goes, but I definitely enjoy playing under Matt.
Okay, so I've known him a while, so I promise I'm not setting you up here, but it's something I've noticed over the last couple of years. Have you guys, the young group that kind of, you guys all grew up together a little bit in this offense together, did you guys make him more relaxed? Did you make him, I guess, cooler, quote unquote? Did you make him looser a little bit? Because he has respectfully just unclenched a bit, it seems like, and you can tell when he's feeling when like Jordan Love leans back with the fadeaway, passes down the field, and you guys vibe really well together. You can tell when he also feels it too. Is that you guys having an effect on him as the play caller? Maybe him feeling that a little bit more?
I mean, honestly, I don't even know if that's something that like I would have like recognized or really like, looked into, but I definitely think that he's done, a really good job at kind of, just relaying and coaching and telling us what he wants and, what he expects from us, or, like installing the stuff and then kind of just letting us, do our part in it. I don't think that he's tried to, over coach or, lean in to those things too much when it comes to just, how we're, going out there. I think that as long as, he's doing his part and then we're doing our part, I feel like that's kind of been like, mutual in that way. And I feel like that's, been really helpful for us as a young offense, because it kind of just helped us, kind of like you said, just grow and mesh really well together. So, I mean, I guess, yeah.
It's okay if you made him cooler. It's fine.
I don't want to say cooler, but I mean, I feel like he's definitely kind of leaned into, the fact that we have a younger, a developing and growing offense over these past couple of years.
Yeah, I would imagine there's something kind of rejuvenating about that, because if it, like as you're saying, that collaboration, but also like you guys are all kind of doing that second phase of growing up as an adult, essentially, together, all with the same group. You know each other really, really well. You're doing one of the most difficult jobs in sports, if not the most difficult jobs in sports to do. Under a microscope, you all have the same sort of empathy for each other, I think. And like, I don't know, it would seem to me that there's something very cool about, like, he's worked with vets prior to you guys coming in for quite a long time, and then now he's got this incredibly young team. I would feel like that would be rejuvenating in a way, just to feel that collaboration and like feeling like everybody's growing together.
100%. I mean, I definitely feel like he does a good job at kind of understanding, the players that he has and, how he kind of has to approach, different guys or, a different group of guys. I feel like he really, has a good understanding of how to just approach, different stuff. So, I mean, it's definitely been, just easy, working with Matt and, learning from him.
You got a favorite, like, deep ball catch in your career? Favorite contested catch?
Of my career?
Sure, or even this last season, anything stand out? I'll let you think about it while I give you some props. That there's not a lot of receivers exactly like you right now, like vertical receivers, guys who take the top. Like, I think of an Alec Pierce right now. I think about guys who are, like, you've averaged 17, 18 yards per catch, like, your whole career. It's part of what you do. You were at a higher volume this year, and yet you're still doing it deep. So I know there's, like, an art to that. Maybe you could explain to the listeners what is the art to being,
Why
a deep ball.
Why are you so good at your job?
No, just specifically, like, what makes those deep balls. And if one of them stands out of one that, like, you loved in your career.
I mean, I'd have to really like sit down and think about, my whole career. But I mean, one that just kind of sticks out to me right away, because it was kind of like, the catapult to my career and the success that I've had was just the Dallas game, my rookie year. I caught a go ball from Aaron Rodgers down the sideline and, scored, did my backflip, and, kind of the rest was history. I mean, that's definitely one that, always sticks out to me. But I mean, I feel like it's just always kind of been, something that I've done. I don't think I've ever, really looked into it too much. I've always been, a fast guy who, can, run really fast, in a straight line. So, any opportunity I get to just run fast and, beat a defender that way, I feel like that's just kind of always what I've done. So it kind of just feels natural.
You got the right quarterback for it, right?
Oh yeah, 100%.
And when we talk about, like I brought it up earlier, one of our favorite things on this show, and it happens on a weekly basis, which we love to see, is like the deep ball, but he can't, like, he has to make it a fadeaway jumper. Mm-hmm. And it looks so easy, but there's like this like cool, like there's this art to it, and this like makes it so much more difficult, but it's not difficult, if that makes sense. Yep. And like that's got to kind of juice you guys up a little bit, that he's capable of doing stuff like that.
Oh yeah, I mean, he's
like rule of cool football.
He's definitely got a little swag to his game when it comes to that. He definitely is on point with his fadeaways. I mean, it makes the highlight a little bit better when you pan from a fadeaway to a touchdown down the field. So I always like it because it adds a little bit more swag to my highlights as well. So it's definitely it's a big part of his game. I mean, I feel like he's kind of just been cool in that area of being poised back there and making plays when stuff is breaking down. Even if it's not breaking down, maybe just hit a fadeaway just for the fun. It always works out.
That's what we love about him. He plays like it's fun, and you do too, and it's just a cool pairing for that reason, among many others. We had him on our show. We had Jordan on our show last year. We were very proud of ourselves because we got him to laugh a lot and kind of just be he was, because he's so professional and he's a little quieter, all that stuff. What is the Jordan Love that what's the side that maybe you see all the time and you're surprised that media like us are talking about him in this way?
He's definitely the fun, energetic, laughing. He's definitely that guy. That's what I see every day. He's the quarterback of an NFL football team. And, I'd say he's one of the best in the league to do it. So I feel like he's got to have that presence when he's talking to everybody. He's just one of the guys at the end of the day. He's got that that humor to him, and he's just one of the guys.
Is he aware of the Toyota-thon thing? Are you guys aware of the Toyota-thon thing? Okay, all right.
He's making money.
Okay, I was at least he's making money, I guess. It's good. Yep. I love that. Yeah, okay, because that's a phenomenon unexplainable to mankind, I think.
I don't know how it came to be or what, but he definitely turns it up a notch during that Toyota-thon for sure.
Last thing for you, what's it like playing in this division? What's it been like, and what's it like, thinking about it moving forward? Because the Lions basically got in your way last season, in 24, I mean. It's a loaded division. You guys have obviously been a consistent playoff team, but Lions get in your way. And this year, in the end, the Bears get in your way. When you play the Vikings, you got to deal with Brian Flores and them. Let's just kind of what's your mindset of these rivalries right now, and then these different teams kind of stopping the Packers along the way?
It's definitely a tough division, a competitive division. But I think that's exactly what I want. I want it to be those competitive, chippy, the energy and the vibe elevated for those games. I feel like that just brings a different different energy to those games. Those are the type of games I want to play in. I want to play in those big time chippy games. I think
those Bears games were awesome. For the average fan, just watching that trilogy.
Yeah, no dog in the fight. It was a gift. Yeah, it really was.
So I enjoy it, but at the end of the day, obviously, I think that the Packers are still the team to beat in the division. I'm excited to see how it plays out this next year.
I know we have to let you go, but really quick, we love on the show too that coaches are now showing more personality too. We love real beef between coach. We love all of that. Locker room, what do you guys make of Matt being a little dry, sarcastic, but kind of coming out and taking a stand, I guess, in the division is hey, I've been here actually, and I'm not going away, and kind of the chippiness back and forth between Bears and Packers in that regard.
I feel like you got to have a little bit of that. I feel like it starts from the top down in terms of that rivalry and that beef. Obviously there's a professional side to it too. You don't got to do too much of it. You got to let your play do the talking as well. But I love when the coaches show a little bit of personality and put that stuff out there. I feel like it brings the vibes to the team too.
Yeah, we had Liam Cohen, and we had him on earlier too, and that was a highlight moment, I think, for coaches anyway, and him and Robert Saleh kind of going back and forth earlier this year. So we love the competition at every level.
Bring more beef.
Yes.
It'll be happening in the NFC North. Great job. Thank you, Christian Watson. Great season. Had I do the big free agency list on NFL.com, so I'm always scouting the future years. It was a short-term contract extension for Christian Watson before this season, but who knows? It's getting better and better. I'm looking forward to what's next for you, and who knows? You might be on that list next year, or maybe Packers are smart. They'll back up the truck for you, and you'll sign long-term there. Thanks again, Christian Watson. Appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.